Welcome back to another episode of Mr. G's Hangout. This is the Rising Tide Lifts All Boats, where we talk about electric car projects, gas to electric. Not opposed to gasoline, but we like options here. We like options, and we're into the tech. So let's go around the room and just say hi to everybody. So in the house, regular, we got Talik and Kevin. How you guys doing?
Hey, Mr. G. And, while we're here at the beginning, I want to remind people, stick around to hear about these projects and also like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any conversion conversations.
Nice.
Like and subscribe.
All right. And everybody's got a project to show tonight, and I got some news to announce. We also got Terry in the house from Ohm on the Range. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for hosting this as always.
Oh, yeah. And Alec Bessinger, he's coming to us from Portland, Oregon. What's happening, man? QC Charge.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
All right. And Sarah Lyons, always a favorite, coming in with a cool project, the Samurai. She's going to karate chop us today with an update. How you doing? Okay, and then Jonathan Knight coming in with the Honda, right?
Yeah, that's right. Good to see you, Ron. Good to see everyone.
Right. The Honda scans. All right, everybody's got a project going. Okay, cool. So, yeah. So, like I said, I think we're going to Terry, right, first? Is that who we're going first?
Sure.
Okay. He's put an enormous amount of effort into rising the tide of the electric vehicle conversions. He's got a great conference coming up. But before we get to the conference, let's talk about the vehicle he's converting. He's got something unique. We got to leave it's a teaser, He's got something unique going on. What kind of car are you converting? I'm going to pull up some photos.
Yeah, I need to post some updates. Actually, I am converting a 1961 Chevrolet Corvair Lakewood 700. So it was the station wagon,
Nice.
which was only made for 2 years, 61 and 62.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, it's in this month's, there you go, it's in the current issue, in fact, of EV Builder's Guide, which is super cool. So there it is, the Ohm wagon.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's happening here?
So now that I'm building battery mounting, mounts. So
Nice.
There's going to be, basically, I'm using the Ampere EV Atom Drive system, which is a phenomenal kit, very complete. And this particular kit will have 3 battery modules, 3 battery packs, and 2 of them will live kind of in front of the rear axle where the rear seat was, and then the third one will live in the frunk. So,
Can you tell us more about this system? What are we looking at here? Where should I go?
Yeah, let's see. Any of those links I think is fine. So basically, the nice folks at Ampere EV have just kind of put together a very well-engineered, well-thought-out, complete system. So as you see there, it's plug and play, and the battery boxes that you see, they have all the BMS and wiring already done and good to go.
So you literally get a box that has...
I get a massive crate. So this thing is like nuke proof. I couldn't believe it when this crate arrived on the truck. It's a massive wooden crate, and it's like being a kid on Christmas morning, cracking open the crate. And yeah, there it is. In fact,
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
It's literally taking up the whole lift gate.
yeah.
Wow.
So
And what's in this crate?
So in this case, because I already had the motor, so normally you buy the complete system, including a motor, and they offer Cascadia, Tesla, and now the Maverick motor that I'm using. But since I had so basically, in fact, I think it's still true to this day, maybe. I think there are only 2 of these motors in the United States. I have one, and actually Ampere EV has the other.
Oh, yeah.
So they were the first and only folks now to support the motor using their VCU. So that made the decision, certainly, that helped along. Maverick Electronics has their own VCU kind of in development. But I'll be using the VCU and the rest of the Atom Drive system, since the Ampere folks have already validated it with their system. So yeah,
And sorry to interrupt you, Terry. If you have watched our previous episodes, or if you haven't heard about this, go back and watch. We have a podcast with Maverick EV where we talk about this with Alex. So check that out after you watch this episode.
Yeah.
Right.
Alex
He's
is-
in Texas, right?
Yeah, so he lives in China, but he just opened a facility in Texas. So he has a facility in the States, and he has an employee or two there, and then he kind of goes back and forth between China and Texas. So
yeah, we did a whole interview with him. That was really cool, like an hour profile, and and he was kind of new on the scene. So we were like, "Who is this person? He's making Tesla clone motors. Like, what's going on?"
yeah.
Actually, you're the one that hooked me up with that. I saw it first in your shop.
Yeah. So, yep, there it is right there. So it's a 255 kilowatt peak motor, transverse 8 to 8.2 gearing, I believe, in the gearbox, 400 volt. So
Cool.
should be a screamer. The Corvair came initially from the factory with 80 horsepower, and now this will have about 340 horsepower. So I'm having custom axle shafts made, of course, chromoly. The Corvair has that goofy swing axle, it's called. It's kind of unique to them, which, had I known at the time, may have chosen a different platform, but
That's going to be scary with 400 horsepower nearly.
yeah.
Corvair. I'm gonna call who's the guy who wrote the book Unsafe at Any Speed?
Ralph Nader.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get Ralph Nader on the phone. Is he still alive?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I think he is, but if not, he'd be rolling in his grave.
Yeah, man. He's like, "What are you guys doing? I tried to help you."
Yeah. I'll come back to life just to stop you from doing this.
Yeah. So the crazy thing is, in their video there, so I should preface all this by the generous friend, Pat Daly of Inspire EV, is letting me use his shop to build. So that little video that you saw there, that's at the Inspire EV shop. So you probably saw maybe his Mustang, the 65 high voltage Mustang with the revolt system motor in it. Yeah, actually you can see it in the background of the photo of the magazine spread. So that's his Mustang there. That I can't imagine doing something like this without a lift. So super grateful to Pat at Inspire EV for letting me use his space there. And that's Jimmy, EV Swap, Jimmy Underhill. So he's also a local guy. So had him come by and lend a hand a couple times. And yeah.
You guys look like you're having fun out there.
Yeah, I think so.
That's great.
It's going to be crazy now because I'm trying to get it done, or done meaning I'd like to be able to get it drivable by my conference coming up on July 12th, the State of
All right,
Charge
tell us about the conference. What's going on?
Yeah.
Where does it take place?
So this year it's down in Denver at it's called the CSU Spur Complex. And the reason I moved it there, and also the reason I moved it to July, normally it's in August, is Electrify Expo is in town that same weekend. And so, and we're literally next door. It's like a 2-minute walk. So basically it's a 2-day, all-day Friday event, and then a half-day Saturday. And then Electrify Expo is Saturday and Sunday. And all the attendees that come to my conference get free admission to Electrify Expo.
Now, I was considering coming to that, but since you said that, that's pushing me even more to driving out to Colorado for that weekend.
You totally should, because the other cool thing too is that anybody that brings a conversion, we'll be able to, you can submit it to the Electrify Show Off as part of their event that weekend, and then we'll park all of the cars that came from State of Charge together too.
Oh, wow.
So if you've been to any of the Electrify Expos, a lot of it is mostly kind of modified Teslas and such, which is cool, but it's its own thing, obviously. And so I think Denver, we should have a pretty decent showing of actual conversions. Bringing the cars from the show there. So
Yeah, that's pretty
That's
awesome. In fact, I wanted to plug here that in a couple of weeks, we here in California, we have Electrify Expo Long Beach happening, and as well as I believe Jerome is going to be in town to shoot some more out of spec Renew on location. So stay tuned. If you want to film your conversion with Jerome, get in touch with him. He and I will probably be on site to film more conversions. And I wanted to get that in since you were talking about Expo.
yeah. So as you can see there, actually the Google Map satellite data is pretty out of date. The CSU Spur is a fairly new campus, like a year old. So most of the satellite imagery just shows the blank parking lot. And actually where Electrify Expo is going to be held is under construction even currently right now. So
Oh yeah, this is an old phone.
yeah, so this is a pretty popular spot or maybe not popular, but well-known spot in Denver because it's the National Western Stock Show. So this is where the Denver hosts the stock show every year. So there's tens of thousands of people come through every January for the National Western Stock Show from all over the country, and so it's a massive grounds there. Anyway, yeah, so super excited. I just announced today, or maybe it was yesterday, that Chris Hazel from Felton will be joining us now, coming from the United Kingdom as one of our keynote speakers, as well as Neil Tin there from Electrify Expo.
Cool.
And then
I
Paul.
did that CCS, or rather, is it CCS or supercharger adapter for hobby cars?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember him talking about that.
Yeah. And then Paul there in the middle.
Fast charging. Oh, go ahead, Kevin. Sorry.
Yes, fast charging, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Is that him? Yeah, Felton. It must be.
Yeah. And then Paul there in the middle will be talking. He actually was the first person to take a conversion through Hot Rod Magazine's Drag Week. So he built that Tesla-powered 40 Chevy and took it on that. If you're not familiar with Drag Week, it's like a week-long adventure where they race at different drag strips every day, but you also then have to drive the vehicle between the different towns and whatnot. No trailers allowed. So that'll be super cool.
Cool.
And we got some other sessions down there. These are the behind the build sessions. These are more in depth. So we've got the.
Oh no! I see something. What is that?
Which
What
one?
is that?
Yeah, scroll down. There's Lauren, and then scroll down.
How do we get to this?
You should just go scroll.
Oh, there we go.
And there's
she
Sarah.
is.
This sounds like a segue about to happen here.
Yeah.
No,
Segue.
in that photo, I have my hand up like this, but I'm holding a tire with the other hand. So the context is gone.
Like,
I thought maybe you were working
I'm
so
tired.
hard. You're just
So
working up the sweat.
No, she's looking on the horizon of how this industry is growing. She's looking out on the vast potential.
Yeah. But as you can see from the builds there, what I try to do is highlight different builds, different systems, if you will. So we've got the dual Hyper 9s there in that Lotus Esprit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that should be pretty cool to see. And all these cars those 5 cars there will be on site too, which is the cool thing.
Nice.
And then the guys from Southfield are bringing that 52 Chevy truck. And of course, we've got the EV Zilla, the GTR all-wheel drive dual Tesla motor.
Whoa.
Nissan Skyline, and then of course Sarah and Lauren will be talking about their Samurai projects with the Hyper 9.
Hey, I see a mail truck.
Yeah, that's E-Muscle Cars out of Denton, Texas.
Really?
They're doing that. They're bringing the 67 Camaro with the Stealth Drive motor. But you're right. They're one of the partner there, Bill Schofield. That is his kind of personal project, that mail truck. I think they're going to put a Cascadia IM225 or something silly in that. So that thing should be a fun little screamer.
It's such an obvious. I think it's a Chevy S10 underneath. And who's going to get the contract to completely electrify the whole fleet?
Well, it's happening right now.
Is it
Actually.
QC Charge, Alex? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean it is happening.
That's cool.
Well, that's a
Cool.
topic for another podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's get somebody on the
There's
horn.
cars
about
there to piss off every purist.
that. True. All right. So
Domestic, foreign, Japanese, everything.
yeah. So Kev, if you don't mind, let's step up the roster and let's go straight to Sarah because we got the segue here. And maybe Sarah, do you want to share with us? How do you want to do it? Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, sure. I'll just show like one or two.
Yeah, give us an update while you're getting it ready. Terry, thanks for that. And I'm going to try and make it out.
I'd love to have you. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'll be really cool. In the meantime, while she's getting ready, I took the plunge and I have rented my own shop. And so so thank you. So now I am the proud owner of a rental agreement, so that I have to clear the rent every month. Fantastic.
Nice.
No, so, yeah.
You're not a squatter anymore.
No. So I'm going to it's a commercial garage. It's got a bathroom. It's got, an old transmission shop. And I'll be doing conversions there. A lot of classes in the beginning. I don't know if I'm going to go big on a conversion yet. I'll do a conversion, but it'll be like an educational one at first. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. And if I get crazy and I do something quick, maybe I'll drive it out.
That'd be awesome. Do you have a lift?
Yep. Got a lift.
How big of a space is it?
It's like a two-car garage with like 2 deep, so kind of like 4 spots.
Nice.
And it's got a little kitchenette and a little storage. And I'll bring it up on the screen. 84 Main Street, Bloomingdale, New Jersey.
Jersey.
There it is. Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing. I'll share this real quick, and then we'll get back to the main show.
That's awesome. When do you move in, or have you?
Tomorrow.
Nice, dude.
So and I'll show you the side view. So basically, like, this is an old photo, but they believe it or not, they do 3D prosthetics for dogs in the other side of the building.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but this is me. The last 2.
Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah, it's expensive. I'm gonna try and break even. We'll see what happens.
That's awesome.
So if anybody's got any survive commercial space stories, I'm all ears. And next podcast will be from there.
Excellent.
So, I was thinking about Starlink
for like a 10-year lease or something.
No,
this is ridiculous leases.
This is like 1 year, and if all hell breaks loose, I can negotiate out of it. So it seems it's not, and there was no real estate agent. I talked directly to the people. So anyway, that's the deal.
Congrats.
Yeah, so more to come.
Exciting stuff.
And you're all welcome if you're in Jersey, of course. That would be great. Okay, so let's get to Sarah Lyons. What do you got, Sarah?
All right.
Is there like a name for the business, or is it just you guys?
It's Lauren's business. Lauren, it's her business.
Okay. Yes.
And her business is called Nice Car.
Oh, that's right. We pulled it up before. I forgot. I'm sorry. Okay, so what's the update? Oh, this looks good.
This is the first car that she's commissioned to have done. This is 1987 Suzuki Samurai, and I finally got I got my mount made, and this is all just I just put everything in. It's not. I haven't wired anything up yet.
Looking good.
The 2 chargers here and vacuum pump for the brakes, my DC converter. I'm floating this. So that's some of the stuff I've done lately. And we're thinking about power steering here. And our contactor box will be here. And the 12-volt stuff will be over here. And this guy, Ron Turner, he did one with the help of EV West, and so he gave me a lot of like these boxes that fit over the wheel wells. He showed me how he used those, and I ordered. He was really, really helpful on some of what he did. But I'm going to put the batteries in a different spot from him. So yeah, so that's the latest.
Cool.
What
This is a lot of progress.
capacity batteries? How many batteries?
5.
So 5 Tesla Model S modules in?
Yes. So here's we ordered the 2 module from EV West, this box, and I'm going to put where the back seat was. The chargers aren't going to go here, but I was just like, visualizing it. And then our other, let's see, I've been building this cradle for a box.
Looks familiar.
Yeah, that we got from this one. That guy.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Amp Revolt in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Brandon,
Hollinger.
Bollinger. No, Hollinger. That's it.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy. Yeah, he's good. We had him on the show. I taught with him a few times locally at Paramus, New Jersey. We did a big full-size conversion. I don't think they're done with it yet, but we left it to the kids. So we'll see what happens. Cool. All right. That's great stuff, Sarah. Nice. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, good job with your welding up your own mount. I mean, you have to design your own mount and weld it up. That's like a lot to do, Usually stuff just fits in. Well, actually, not usually. Yeah, like when people ask me about conversions, I always say, well, you got a couple choices. You could buy everything or you could make everything. You want to try it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you want to try and make everything fit your stock mounts.
It's like way more complicated than it probably needs to be. But this was the stock. This was what bolted onto the motor mount. And so I got this little thing from Summit Racing with the bushing in it and welded that on. And then I had these tabs from the welding shop and just figured this out, So it was just like kind of new for me to do something like this. But
awesome.
Yeah.
Metal fab.
Yeah.
You have a lot of skills. You are able to design, weld, convert cars, teach. This is good stuff. Yeah, it takes a lot to do a conversion. You sort of have to have a handful of different skills: electrical, metal fab, automotive, and you have to be able to communicate your ideas. So there's a lot going on. That's pretty cool. Yeah, good stuff. All right, cool. Okay, and what's next, Sarah? What are you going to do next so we can think about it for next time?
Wow. Let's see. What am I doing next? Oh, I'm wiring up the contactor box.
Oh, yeah, that's always a pain.
Fitting it all in. Yeah.
Why do they make them so small? Can we just agree to make them like 25% bigger? Everybody just relax.
Unless you buy one of the Revolt ones,
it's already built. That's true. Yeah. Cool. All right. So let's go to Kev in the interest of time. Kev's got a cool project going on. What you want to talk about oh man, what's that thing called? The torque. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Well, I've got the my dial project I'm still working on, iterating on, trying to make it look better. It looks terrible on the video anyway. That's not a very good example there.
Give us an overview. What does this thing do?
Yeah, this is a complete monitor for your electric vehicle conversion. It works with Hyper 9, dilithium BMS, as well as Ziva BMS to show you all of the stuff you need to know about your car. Motor temperatures, battery levels, state of charge. It has GPS integration also to be able to track your trips and how efficient you are, and basically look for trouble in your EV conversion before it happens. So
nice. What does that replace? What will be the competitive project to that?
Yeah, so AEM has a very nice gauge display that's customizable, and they have some nice software for doing that, but you really do have to configure it all yourself. The screen, and you have to get the DVC files for all the various CAN things you're trying to talk to, and all of this, or buy it from somebody like EV West that's done all the work already. But it's not pretty, and it's not super flexible. I want it to be flexible yet work out of the box, totally functional and inexpensive. Like AEM solution is, everything AEM is expensive, but it's like over $1,000, I believe.
Mhm. And so this works out of the box.
I'm trying to also make it so it works with this larger dial too. Now I'm still messing with this, so I used a larger screen, which is nice, but now I just make the graphics actually fit on this larger screen. It looks way too small. Stuff like that. So
it looked like you were twisting it to switch between the screens.
yeah, you'll be able to turn the dial to change screens.
Oh,
And then
dang,
also,
that's genius.
yeah, it's really nice. And this one, they both have a very nice feel to them. I don't know which one I like better yet. Especially this one. It actually works most of the time. Tell them on camera that it doesn't work. So
Oh yeah, it's kind of washed out from the light. But
yeah,
when you say it works out of the box, you literally plug it into your CAN line and it'll pick up all the stuff you need.
yeah, that's the idea, that it detects what CAN devices are on there at their standard addresses and so forth, and just picks everything up. It just auto detects as much as possible.
Oh yeah, hold this steady right there. So there's your like your watt hours and maybe a voltage.
Hours and amp hours of total pack. This is like a configuration screen. This is, you know, how many amp hours and kilowatt hours of battery do you have on board? This is the torque example. I have different configuration files to work for different cars, but as much as possible, I want it to be working out of the box.
Nice.
There's another screen that'll show you. Well, see, it shows you your range. And there's another screen that'll show you which CAN devices are talking right now. It'll have a little spinny circle there that shows you at what speed they're coming in. So especially in a hobby car, you're like, oh, what CAN wire fell off, stopped working, I have wrong baud rate or whatever, wrong bit rates. You'll see it's not being received.
And Sarah, you got room on the dash for this thing?
It's tiny. It'll even fit in a Samurai. So,
Ooh, maybe one of the vent holes. That's one of the little round, the clock.
Right. So, well, this one, do I have my little flange around here? Like, this is the standard hole in cars, from what I've been told, for round gauges, and I think this does. It does fit right in there. So, still some maneuvering to make it fit. You know, you have to mount it. The screw holes are on the back. Yeah, it's strictly mechanical stuff. But yes, you can switch screens by dialing it or swiping the screen. If there's no area around it to dial, then you can actually just swipe left and right also.
But so this is a good solution because, like, currently, what do you have on the dash? So, for instance, Sarah, what's on your dash?
We haven't done the dash yet. We have.
Yeah, the thing is, like, well, you'll have a gas gauge, but it doesn't work. And the tachometer, well, ignore that because it doesn't work either. And the speedometer is always off by 10 miles an hour. And okay, well, this will, like, you know, cover those things up with paper and then just use this instead. This will be a speedometer and everything. And the
Terry,
idea is that it can
Terry,
run.
what's on your dash?
Well, so the Amper kit, of course, comes with a display. Everything's integrated in. You know, so
That's
you
the
get
EV. What's it called?
Sorry?
EV controls, EC2.
No, this is their own stuff for the
Oh,
Atom
okay.
Drive system. Yeah. And then you get to choose, I think, between a 7-inch and a 9-inch option, and then 8-inch and a 10-inch with a mechanical dial. So you kind of got 4 different choices in the kit to choose from.
Cool. I'll have to check that out too.
Yeah, this is it. So basically, if you didn't have this, then you would, then this, and Ken, what are you calling this?
Yeah, we haven't come up with a great name. Yours was the best so far, the can opener, because it opens up
the
possibility
right
for you.
Look, Alex likes that. Come on.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Then I'm going
I
to
don't want
try.
to make it
I'm also
geeky.
going to.
What is this thing? Open my Pabst Blue Ribbon when I'm finished with my project? No, I don't know. I don't. There's parts of it I love and parts that I don't. So we'll see what happens.
Terry, what did you have to say?
Just the gauge. That's all you need is the gauge.
Yeah.
I'm going to try, I think, in addition to having the digital gauge or the digital display, which, I'll use more to control everything. I'm going to try, I think, and order the Speed Hut makes a device called the Speed Box, which is basically a GPS to mechanical converter for speedometers. So I'll be able to use the original speedometer in the instrument panel as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and that'll look really nice. And it's, you want your data there, but you want your easy to read mechanical speedometer, and you want it to work also. And then you'll be able to calibrate it too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Okay, cool.
Yes, I still have the tricycle. I'm still putting finishing touches on, and been taking it to some shows to try to get it in front of people and get it sold.
Wait, so you're showing the project now. This project is just give a little brief history on this.
Yeah, this is the Torque, which is it's an Epic Torque by a company that's now out of business. This was kind of Aptera's version 0.1, and they thought they were going to make a sporty, fast little track car for $65,000 to sell. And of course, that didn't go over very well. But it's all the batteries were bad when I got it. I've replaced all the batteries with Tesla modules. I've just been rehabbing it for this guy and selling it basically on consignment. And everything's taken 5 times longer than it was supposed to, and so forth. But
where are you based, Kevin? Where are you?
I'm in San Diego County.
Yeah. You should bring it out to State of Charge. Bring it out to Electrify Expo Denver.
Oh, dude, that would be cool.
If it's not sold by then, possibly. So yeah. I'm also considering it. There's a big, the Hillsborough Concours, big car show of snooty cars. I'm going to. I've been working there for the last 9 years or so. And if I don't sell it by then, I'm going to trailer it up there and I'll park it in the parking lot.
That's a good shot. Look at that.
Yeah, the X-ray vision. That's a good one.
Oh my God, look at that. That's like a Warp 11 in there.
Yeah, that's what most of, I've heard most of them have. This one just has a Warp 9. It's pretty fast. I do get attention everywhere I go in this thing, and people stop me at stoplights and people are taking videos of me. It's such a weird looking vehicle. Mm-hmm. And I just had some stickers made up with QR codes I could put on the back. So yeah, if you want more information, just scan my code here.
Nice.
That's Chris driving the car, the founder of Aptera.
Cool. Nice. Okay, cool. All right. Thanks for the update, Kev. And also Jonathan.
Hand in.
Oh,
God. It's my R&D vehicle. Hand in hand, it's my R&D vehicle for this little dial thing. So I write some software, I put it in the car, I take it for a ride, I realize what doesn't work. I also have been doing that as well as doing CAN data captures and playbacks of those data. So I'm working on this with a friend of mine. He doesn't have this car, of course, or a working EV right now. So I just give him the CAN logs of this trip. I said I went around the block or I did whatever, and he can play it back and try it out too. So tuning the algorithms for state of charge and miles per kilowatt hour and all of that stuff, and finding out where the math doesn't meet the reality.
I just did a quick search on the can opener, and this is what you get. You get the low.
Oh yeah, good old 11'8".
If you haven't seen this,
yeah.
this is a blast. If you're bored, this is a COVID special right here. You got nothing to do, watch these videos. It is fantastic. These trucks just ignore the warning and they get ripped open. Here comes one unsuspecting vehicle right now. There goes all of the
it's only the air vents at least. Well,
too funny. So yeah,
imagine how loud that was inside the vehicle. It doesn't look like much, but I'm sure that was a horrible noise.
It was bad.
Yeah, I don't know. Do I spell it can with a K or I don't know? Well, I'll come up with it.
C.A isn't can like controller area network. Just use that, right? Just don't make it complicated. Come on.
Well, you know, yeah, Bosch supposedly owns.
Alex got it right away. That's all you need.
Yeah. It opens can for you. Okay.
Exactly.
If you want to make it non-geeky, I don't know. Maybe
Nah, it's already geeky. Come on. Wait. So, Jonathan, what's your dashboard plan?
Yeah,
Just
so
on
the Civic had a really very basic dashboard to start with, so it really only had 2 dials and one speedometer, the other one just the gas gauge and the temperature gauge. So I'm gonna probably do one of those GPS speedometers that you had up on the screen a minute ago. They've got some different designs for the faces of those, which are pretty retro, and actually one of the designs matches color-wise and very close to what the original speedometer is. So, and size-wise, it's actually exactly the same. So that'll just swap right into the existing console. But then I've got the gas gauge already hooked up to show state of charge, which is pretty cool. You know, it's not obviously it's nothing you're going to rely on for accuracy, but it'll tell you if you're like full, 3/4, half, whatever. So that's kind of my plan, is to keep it original as possible. And then I've got the little like 3-inch dilithium display that's a more accurate state of charge and BMS monitor thing, which I haven't really figured out where that's going to go yet, but it might go like below the dashboard on a little console or something.
Okay.
But mostly the actual dashboard will be just pretty much look stock.
Mm-hmm. This is what you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, at least you get some info on the batteries.
Exactly.
Yeah, which you definitely want. Okay, cool. All right, moving right along. Who's up next? I think we're gonna do Alex, right?
Alrighty.
Okay, what's the new project? What's happening? And just so everybody knows, why don't you give an overview of your shop and your services?
Yeah, so I don't really do a lot of conversion stuff. I actually mostly work on production cars. I work on a lot of Tesla-powered vehicles, but really any production EVs. But a lot of the stuff that I do work on are a lot of the older compliance vehicles, which are kind of like conversions. Let me see if I can switch my camera around here. So we've got some Toyota RAV4 EVs, which were built in a partnership between Toyota and Tesla, of course. And then this right here is my new project. So this is a 2013 Ford Focus Electric. I actually got this car for free from someone locally. I found it on a Facebook group, and they were giving it away. It didn't run. And so I picked it up to kind of mess around with it. I actually got it running the day that I brought it in. I cleared all the codes out, and it actually drove, but I figured out what the problem was. But it's essentially like just a gas Focus that's been converted. Part of the battery takes up a huge portion of the trunk. It's actually split up into 2 separate packs. So one pack lives in the trunk area, and then the other one lives underneath under the rear seats.
Where the gas tank was, probably.
Yeah, pretty much. And then, of course, you got your powertrain stuff up front. The powertrain portion of this was done by Magna. So Magna was building the Fisker Ocean cars, and they've built a number of different vehicles for all sorts of different manufacturers. They're sort of a contract manufacturer for automotive stuff. But the problem on this car is that it had a coolant leak issue inside of the lower battery pack, which is a real common problem on these cars. So this is actually the battery pack all taken apart here. So I've got the lower plate and all of the modules. And you can see a lot of the modules are kind of spreading apart. A lot of the cells have sort of become bloated.
Slower when you're on it right there. That's pretty good.
What's that?
Oh, just move the camera just a little slower when you're getting in closer so we can see it.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of the cells have become bloated, and what that causes is, so we've got all these little coolant manifolds, and they connect to the tubes on the heat exchanger plates, and all these little manifolds just daisy chain together.
So they spread apart.
Yeah, so they spread apart, and then it causes a coolant leak. So there's been a few different kind of DIY solutions that people have done on these packs before to fix this issue, which usually involves just deleting the battery cooling system, which isn't really ideal, especially in a hotter climate or anything. So my plan is I've actually 3D printed a bunch of these little clips. And my plan is that I'm going to attach the tubes remotely above
so they're free to move
each of the things. So they'll be free to move. And then I'm just going to connect each of the little heat exchanger plates remotely with a tube. So everything will be able to move around without spreading apart and causing leaks. At least that's the idea.
Really good. I like that. That's a good, simple solution.
Yeah, but isn't the batteries spreading apart is because they're dying anyway, right? Isn't that?
Yeah, they're probably kind of on their last legs. So how much longer this will, get out of the pack? Probably not that much. The best solution would be to swap another battery into it, but the batteries for these cars are few and far between. So I've seen at least one case where a guy, I think in Ukraine, actually swapped in completely different battery cells and used a CAN bridge to make everything work. So I don't know, maybe that's a long-term solution to be able to get things to work, but this is just kind of a quasi Band-Aid fix, I guess.
What chemistry are those batteries?
They're I don't know the exact chemistry, but they're just a lithium-ion cell. They're LG pouch cells.
No pouch, okay.
Yeah, and it's an 80.
Pacifica cells, Pacifica modules.
So those
they're
are
probably
NMC,
pretty.
right?
No, those are lithium iron phosphate.
Oh, those are LFP. That's even better.
Lithium ion. Yeah, they look similar, but they don't have any cooling, the Pacifica modules.
Yeah, they're probably a similar cell, but not quite the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're probably very similar setup. So anyway, the total pack between the two packs put together is a total of 86 cells in series. And it's a really bizarre setup because it has the two separate packs. It actually has doubled up sets of contactors for the packs to connect to each other and then to connect to the rest of the car. And it's a whole deal. But anyway, yeah, that's my my little personal project I've been working on. So,
well, I just want to comment on it. I like your solution because whenever I find something like a little bit of an engineering hack you could do which is what you did, is separate the jobs. So the job is to carry coolant, but also to stay together. Forget it. Let the flexible tube take care of the stay together part, and let the coolant tube just take care of carrying coolant. Like, I like to say, okay, guys, you guys can't figure out how to do both. let's just make it separate. And I feel like that was a good idea.
Yeah. Hopefully it works. We'll see.
Okay. And then how was the balance? Did you check the state of charge, like the voltage of them?
Yeah, so I did all that with my there's a diagnostic program that works pretty well on these cars called 4Scan. And yeah, I was able to monitor all the cell voltages. I think we're within 10 millivolts, I think, on the across the pack voltage balance, which is pretty good for a 11-year-old EV with the kind of cycles that the pack has had on it. So
Okay. And I have a question coming in from Omar in California. He wanted me to ask about the Tesla drive unit in the Toyota. Is it Tesla's drive? Yeah. Is it Tesla's drive unit in a Toyota, or is it Toyota that developed it and then Tesla bought it and took it and ran with it?
no, so it is a Tesla drive unit. It's the same large drive unit that you'd find in the rear of a Model S, either a rear-wheel drive or a performance variant, but with a few small modifications. So actually, it was kind of co-developed, and if you look at the Tesla large drive unit on a Model S, it actually has a lot of the artifacts left over from the partnership with Toyota, and the Mercedes B-Class is actually kind of the sister car to the RAV4.
Oh.
But yeah, if we look at the RAV4 stuff here, so this is actually the battery out of this one. This was a part to replace the main contactors. I actually just put those in today. So there's the two contactors. The original ones are Typos, which are well known for having problems. So this has got some gigavacs in it now, and I'll be putting it all back together tomorrow.
Cool.
I don't have the drive unit exposed here, but I do have a drive unit out of a RAV4 right here. So it looks identical to the large drive unit you'd find in a Model S, except it has this servo motor for the parking pawl mechanism on it. So this actually does have a parking pawl mechanism. It actually has a linkage that runs all the way to the primary drive, and it just has a little, kind of star wheel that the hook locks into for the parking mechanism. And then, of course, in the RAV4, the drive unit's actually flipped around backwards. So they actually run the motor in reverse, and it has reverse cut gears in the gearbox. But it's the same amount of reduction as the Model S, just the gears are cut at the opposite angle.
Wow. That's amazing. Okay, cool.
Actually, here's a large drive unit all taken apart.
Mm.
And if we look inside of the gear case, all these little casting artifacts are all for the parking pawl mechanism that's not used on the Model S.
Interesting.
So,
Yeah,
anyway, kind of a fun little thing that
side.
if you didn't know what you were looking at, you wouldn't realize it. But it's all left over from the partnership building these cars, and only 2,538 of these were built.
Wow. And does every RAV4 that comes in get your coolant delete option?
Yeah, so that's something that we really try to do on all of them. I mean, obviously, it's something that's up to the customer, but this one here that just got the contactors, that'll be getting a coolant delete, and the other one over here that I was working on also got a coolant delete. This actually had kind of a weird issue. It sat at a dealer for months. They couldn't figure out what was wrong. I originally thought it was going to be contactors before the car showed up. It turned out it was a blown 5-amp fuse, and the dealer couldn't figure that out, so the car ended up coming to me.
I was just at an automotive conference about this type of thing where, ironically, there's a push to learn the computers, but what they're not saying is that you need both. You need just basic automotive skills, diagnostics, and the computer skills to diagnose the electrical systems and computers.
Yeah.
How did you find the 5-amp fuse continuity test?
Well, so there's kind of a number of factors. Part of it is just that I know these cars so well. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I worked on at least a third of the fleet of RAV4 EVs, just because that's something that we've always been known for at QC Charge, is doing the motor rebuilds, the contactors, all that stuff. And of course, we built the DC fast charging kit for them. But I just know the behaviors of everything that the car should do whenever you do certain things with it so well that, so initially when the car showed up, if you have a contactor problem on one of these cars, usually it'll either try to close the contactors or it'll flash. There's a little ready indicator that shows up on the screen when the car's on. And if the car won't go into ready, usually you'll get the ready symbol will flash on and off. And that is kind of indicative that there's a problem. But when the car showed up here, when you tried to start it, it wouldn't flash ready at all. So that indicated to me that somehow the car wasn't getting the right signal to even know that it needed to go into ready. So the first thing that made me think of that I'd seen before was actually, there was one of these that I saw at one point where a blown brake light fuse caused the car to not start. Because if it didn't know you weren't pressing the brake pedal, it wouldn't go into ready. And the only way that it can do that is the feedback from the brake light system.
From the switch. Wow. Oh,
exactly.
God.
So that was my first instinct, was I checked that, and that was fine actually on this car. And then I think I played around with a couple of other things, and then I thought, well, what happens if I try to plug it in? And if you plug in a RAV4 and it has an issue on the high voltage system, like the contactors or anything like that, there's a couple of little, you probably can't see them very well, but behind this window, there's two little charge indicator lights. And so, like in the bottom 50% of the pack, the first one blinks. And then if you're in the second half of the pack, the first one's solid and the second one blinks. And if it's on a charge timer, they alternate back and forth. And if there's an error, when you plug the car in, they'll blink simultaneously. But when I plugged this in, it didn't do anything at all. So that was what led me to the fuse that powers the onboard charger, and that was the fuse that was blown.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, just a little reminder for everybody, if you want to know more about Alex's backstory, we have a whole podcast with him a few weeks back. Check it out in the playlist below. And he also goes into in-depth on the Model S motor issues as well.
Nice. Alex, that was great. I really appreciate that. We're going to switch gears. We're going to go rapid fire to wrap this up. We're going to go to Jonathan, and then I got a little project to show, and then we're going to close it out. Did I forget anything else?
I wanted to show on the fuse thing. So I didn't know this, but on this fuse, there's actually 2 test points in all of these little plastic fuses. You don't have to pull them out and look at them. You can check continuity on these guys.
Oh, on the top side. Yeah, where it says that's true.
Yeah, you just put your multimeter leads right on the little tabs.
It's all that practical automotive stuff is still valid.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Jonathan, what do you got? What's going on, man?
Yeah, let me show you what I've been up to.
Okay. And then I got a closeout project here. You want me to go first, Jonathan? Or you want to go? Okay.
So, yeah, I showed you guys the work I was doing on
Oh, it's looking good.
battery boxes. And so I've been just designing these brackets to start to figure out how they're going to mount to the bottom of the car.
Mm-hmm.
And so I mocked those up. Then I brought it over into Illustrator. I just sent these off to Send today, and they rejected them because they can't do the bends the way that I want them to be bent. So so I have to redesign them a little bit. Because I probably have to like weld the seams or something. They can't just do a nice 90-degree bend because they're too long.
If you want, I can work with you on a solid modeling program, and we can come up with something. I see you want to bend it right there where it kind of like that black line in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. There's a way around it. I've been chatting with them, so I think it's gonna work out. I just have to go back to the drawing board a little bit, but
Cool.
that's what I've been working on at home. But then in the shop, I did get the frames all welded up for the battery boxes, both of them. Those are done.
Nice.
Just need to get the panels to complete the boxes now, and and then once everything's fitted together and I drill some holes for bolts, then I'll sand these all down and paint the frames.
Cool.
And yeah, I'm pretty psyched about them. I think they came out really good, and they're actually really square. Like I had to like really like tightly clamp them down to the table to like keep them from warping as I was welding them. And there was a little bit, but actually pretty damn close to being square, which I'm pretty psyched about.
Cool.
And they're flexible enough that once I get the panels in and start to bolt it, they'll go back to square. It's not like they're ultra rigid.
Nice. This is awesome. Good stuff.
And then today, the last 2 weeks, I've been doing body work. So, trying to get this ready to paint. Because actually the guy I sublet the space in the garage from, he's convinced me that I can paint the car myself in one weekend, and he's going to help me. So
cool. Nice.
That's what I'm starting to get ready to do.
Wow. All right.
So today was a lot of Bondo, sanding, Bondo again, sanding, Bondo again, that kind of thing. But there's a little shot I sent to my wife just to prove I was wearing a protective gear. She was worried about me. But
nice.
That's what's been keeping me busy.
Good. That's great. Let's see that. Okay, yeah,
Where are
that's
these
good.
battery boxes going to mount?
Sorry?
Oh,
Where are the
he's got the diagram. Go ahead, he'll answer that. Sorry. Where the battery box is going to mount.
So yeah, one is going to go where the gas tank was, which is underneath the back seat, and then the other one's underneath the back trunk.
Okay, so these are the frames to hold the batteries within those boxes themselves.
Yes.
Is that it? Okay.
Yeah, so these frames are the outer part of the actual boxes, and then the batteries will go inside that, and then the brackets I'm designing will hold it all to the frame.
I see.
Nice.
So they are
All right.
enclosed, protected from weather and so forth.
Yeah, they'll be fully paneled and then sealed.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, appreciate it. All right. Yeah, I like the progress. All right, so to wrap it up, I'll go last. At the high school, we're building an off-grid trailer. I think I mentioned this before. It's got a Victron system. It's got DC board, AC board. We're doing all kinds of wiring and whatnot. It's got solar panels on the roof. It's got battery backup on the bottom there. And we're going to be serving burritos. Hopefully June 5th. Here's our panels getting mounted by the kids here. It's pretty cool stuff. And then I had to make, if you ever bent conduit, but wire molds, not round, it's kind of square. I had to 3D print this thing because they want $200 for the piece. So I 3D print it, and then I steel reinforced it. And actually, I don't have another picture of it, but I actually welded another reinforcement piece on here on the other side. And they come out all right. They don't kink or anything like that. So pretty cool. Pretty amazing what you can do with 3D printing nowadays. It's just amazing. Anyway, yeah, so that's what's going on with that project. And we're gonna have burritos to show and or to give away as a kind of a highlight. Yeah, and we might get a Cybertruck down there. Yeah, Anthony from New York Solar Farm has got a Cybertruck. Actually, you should check out his video. I don't have it queued up right now, but you could just type in New York Solar Farm or Anthony. I'll pull it up.
New York State Solar Farm.
That's
New York
it.
State Solar Farm.
Yeah, Solar Farm. There we go. He just got a Cybertruck, and what a cool thing! Like he's got all these. Oh, I see. This is not his personal. Oh, so you put the Cybertruck on the personal website. Anyway, pretty cool stuff. He's got the Powerwall 3, and if you need solar in the New York State area, this is your guy. And believe it or not, he operates out of an old gas station that was taken over.
You know,
So,
somebody else recently got to check out a Cybertruck. Who is that, Ron?
Oh yeah, that was awesome. When I was out at the Automotive Educators Conference, they had such a great thing. One of the Tesla showed up with the Cybertruck, and I did a little reaction video that Talk and I were, gave us the video. I gotta tell you, that truck's ridiculous in person. If you get a chance, get a ride in one of these things. It is ridiculous. So this is just like a 2-minute video. And what's cool is I give you kind of like an overview. It's going to lag in this video here, but we get inside of this thing and we give it a ride. It's a ridiculous vehicle. What
Did they wrap it? It's wrapped in black, I think it. Is it wrapped?
Yeah, it was wrapped from the dealer. Yeah. And so, there's another impression that you probably won't hear elsewhere. I'm not sure. I want to give you a thought that I had when I was sitting in the vehicle. Tesla could make anything. Let's just put it that way. They literally, it's a spaceship. And if you know anything about like the castings, like it's got a front casting that's massive, back casting, like the car is made in front casting, back casting, battery pack, and then like stainless steel everywhere else. So just keep in mind, if you're thinking form factor, like, oh, you want a van or you need a work truck, or like, what do you think they're going to do in the future? Like, they're holding back big time. This is just the beginning, is my impression. So anyway, yeah, let's wrap it up right here. Talak, you got anything left for us?
Just a reminder for everybody to make sure you hit that like button and watch the whole playlist of all the podcasts we got about. This is, I think, week number 18. So there's plenty of topics to check out, and leave a comment of what's been your favorite conversion that you've seen or what you're working on.
Yeah, I really appreciate everybody being here. It's really fun knowing that we can share all these projects, and Rising Tide lifts all boats. We want to hear about what you're doing and share all the good stuff going on. It's only going to grow. So cool. All right. Well, thanks a lot. And yeah, see you guys next week from the new shop.